Hello and welcome to our videocast on healthcare compliance, a crucial aspect of modern medical practice and a high priority focus for healthcare managers. In today's rapidly evolving environment, you must ensure that your organization follows all relevant regulations, laws, and ethical standards to uphold quality patient care. Effective compliance safeguards patient privacy, preserves accurate billing, and protects clinical integrity. By proactively preventing fraud, waste, and abuse, you simultaneously shield organizational resources and minimize exposure to legal and financial risks. Ultimately, a robust compliance program fosters trust among patients, staff, and stakeholders, creating a foundation for sustainable success. As healthcare managers, your influence in promoting a culture of compliance is indispensable. You steer policy development, oversee staff training, and champion best practices that embed ethical behavior across every department. This leadership not only helps meet regulatory requirements, but also enhances patient satisfaction, encourages interdepartmental collaboration, and upholds your facility's reputation. In this videocast, we will explore key strategies, cutting-edge tools, and proven best practices that empower healthcare managers to excel in compliance leadership. From leveraging analytics for real-time monitoring to conducting internal audits, you will gain practical insights and expert advice to navigate the complexities of compliance with confidence, ensuring the very best for your organization and community. In today's environment, the healthcare industry demands proactive compliance to stay ahead of ever-changing regulations and expectations. Well-structured programs help prevent, detect, and address violations early, safeguarding both organizational resources and patient welfare. For healthcare managers, such programs are integral to ensuring accurate billing, maintaining privacy protections, and fostering an ethical organizational culture. By promoting vigilance, transparency, and accountability, managers reduce the risk of severe penalties and legal exposure, which can disrupt daily operations and erode public trust. With robust compliance strategies in place, providers can focus on delivering excellent patient care, aligning with regulatory standards, and upholding professional integrity. Ultimately, a proactive stance not only benefits patients, staff, and stakeholders, but also fortifies a healthcare institution's reputation and longevity. This fosters sustainable success and significantly elevates overall organizational performance. Maintaining a compliance program is a standard practice that ensures your organization meets ever-evolving regulatory expectations. With multiple laws, including the Affordable Care Act, ACA, requiring thorough oversight, healthcare managers must develop proactive plans that align with these mandates. A well-structured compliance program also mitigates harsher criminal sentencing by showing regulators and enforcement agencies that your organization takes legal and ethical responsibility seriously. Ultimately, this approach protects both leadership and frontline staff, while fostering trust with patients, payers, and the community. By prioritizing compliance, managers can uphold quality care and maintain a strong reputation in a competitive healthcare landscape. In 1991, the federal sentencing guidelines were introduced to incentivize proactive compliance across U.S. organizations, including those in the healthcare sector. By defining effective programs as those reasonably designed, implemented, and enforced to prevent and detect criminal conduct, these guidelines serve as a critical touchstone for healthcare managers. They emphasize the creation of robust policies, staff training, and continuous monitoring, all aimed at deterring fraud, waste, and abuse, in clinical and administrative practices. Crucially, the guidelines also lessen organizational culpability if violations occur, despite a genuine compliance effort, showcasing that the organization took prudent steps to uphold legal and ethical standards. For healthcare managers, adopting this structured approach helps build stakeholder confidence, safeguard patient trust, and mitigate financial or reputational harm, thereby sustaining both operational integrity and quality care. The Office of Inspector General's Compliance Program Guidance, introduced in 1997, was designed to help various healthcare entities create and maintain robust compliance measures. It emphasizes the importance of establishing clear policies, conducting regular training, and implementing systematic oversight. By urging providers to implement formal programs, the Office of Inspector General aims to deter fraudulent or abusive practices that can undermine patient trust and financial stability. Notably, healthcare organizations lacking a suitable compliance framework face heightened risk of serious penalties, which can include sanctions, fines, or exclusion from federal health programs. In the realm of healthcare compliance, it is vital to understand the distinction between a compliance program and a compliance plan. The compliance program is an overarching approach designed to prevent, detect, respond to, and report potential legal or ethical violations. Meanwhile, a compliance plan is the written framework that implements the program's core principles. The plan outlines policies, procedures, and strategies for ensuring staff members follow all relevant standards. Because each healthcare organization is unique, every plan must be carefully tailored to reflect the entity's size, structure, and resources. By customizing these elements, managers can create a practical and comprehensive system that's fully maintainable and effective in achieving its objectives. Ultimately, bridging compliance theory with well-structured implementation helps foster a culture of integrity and accountability throughout the organization. The foundation of a successful compliance program rests on 8 essential elements that guide healthcare organizations in meeting ethical and legal responsibilities. First, written policies and a code of conduct establish clear standards, ensuring that staff and leadership understand their obligations. Second, a designated compliance officer and committees provide oversight, maintain accountability, and allocate adequate resources. Third, employee screening helps organizations avoid hiring individuals with histories of misconduct or sanctions that could jeopardize trust or safety. Fourth, effective training and education give personnel the knowledge to recognize, report, and mitigate risks, fostering a culture of responsibility. Fifth, monitoring and auditing processes, including anonymous reporting mechanisms, enable timely detection of potential issues and allow organizations to address them proactively. 6. Enforcement and disciplinary measures ensure that violations are handled consistently and fairly, reinforcing the importance of following established guidelines. 7th, response and prevention protocols empower organizations to investigate alleged violations promptly, remediate harm, and modify procedures to reduce the likelihood of repeated incidents. Finally, program effectiveness is evaluated through periodic reviews and updates. By assessing how well the other 7 components function, organizations confirm that their efforts remain relevant, robust, and capable of withstanding both internal and external scrutiny. Written policies, procedures, and a code of conduct. The organization must establish standards and procedures to prevent and detect criminal conduct. Guidelines require compliance standards be clearly articulated in a code of conduct, reflecting the organization's commitment to ethical behavior. A mere statement of intent is insufficient. Standards must address specific job functions, from generalized codes for all employees to policies tailored to particular roles. By articulating obligations relevant to legal requirements, such as Medicare and Medicaid, organizations ensure employees know what conduct is expected and prohibited. Written policies form the backbone of a compliance program, promoting transparency and accountability. Objective number 2, high-level oversight, underscores the necessity for active board involvement in shaping and maintaining compliance. The governing body must clearly define responsibilities, provide sufficient resources, and hold leadership accountable. A compliance officer with real authority ensures the program is effectively administered, monitored, and enforced. Many organizations also opt to separate legal counsel from compliance, allowing each role to function independently while upholding distinct critical responsibilities. Reporting directly to the board or a board-level committee helps maintain transparency, prevents conflicts of interest, and fosters a robust culture of integrity. Collectively, these measures strengthen compliance efforts and reduce organizational risk. Objective number 3, employee screening ensures that staff members uphold ethical and legal standards, particularly those in positions of substantial authority. By excluding individuals with a known illegal history or prior misconduct, organizations reduce the likelihood of fraudulent or unsafe practices. Comprehensive background checks covering criminal records, certifications, and any state or federal exclusion lists are essential to protecting both patients and the institution's reputation. Because screening requirements may vary or change, it is crucial to stay updated with evolving regulations. This diligent, ongoing process builds a trustworthy workforce and fortifies the overall effectiveness of a healthcare compliance program. Objective number 4, training and education calls for periodic, role-specific, and mandatory learning sessions to ensure everyone in the organization understands the importance of compliance. This involves explaining not just the rules but the reasons behind them, why compliance matters, and how laws directly affect day-to-day tasks. Tailored instruction for different roles, such as billing, coding, and marketing, addresses the distinct regulatory challenges each area faces. By emphasizing practical examples and real-world scenarios, training fosters deeper engagement and retention. Ultimately, a well-educated workforce helps maintain ethical standards, reduces potential errors, and protects the organization from costly legal or financial consequences. Communication focuses on delivering consistent and engaging compliance information to employees. This can involve distributing manuals, hosting live sessions, and leveraging videos or e-learning modules to reach all learners effectively. Equally important is documenting training attendance, confirming each staff member has completed the required modules, reinforcing key points regularly through newsletters, email alerts, or staff bulletins helps keep compliance top of mind. With a well-rounded communication strategy, healthcare organizations can ensure that policy updates, best practices, and ethical standards are clearly understood, easily accessible, and consistently followed, ultimately strengthening the overall compliance culture. Objective number 5, monitoring and auditing, involves regularly reviewing organizational processes to ensure continuous adherence to compliance standards. By conducting routine audits, leadership can identify potential gaps or weaknesses before they escalate into serious problems. A critical part of this process is providing anonymous reporting channels and enforcing a strict non-retaliation policy which encourages staff to speak up without fear of reprisal. Promptly investigating all concerns not only helps resolve issues but also reinforces trust, showing that the organization takes compliance and ethical responsibilities seriously. Objective number 6, enforcement and discipline, highlights the importance of publicizing and consistently applying disciplinary policies. By treating all staff members, regardless of rank or department, with the same standards, organizations underscore their commitment to accountability at every level. This uniform approach confirms that no individual or group is above compliance requirements, reinforcing a culture of fairness and transparency. Equally important, effective enforcement sustains the credibility of the entire compliance program. If employees see that misconduct leads to real consequences, they are more likely to abide by established rules. Ultimately, consistent discipline fosters trust, deters future violations, and preserves the integrity of organizational operations. Objective number 7, response and prevention, emphasizes the need to address misconduct swiftly and effectively. Implementing corrective action plans is essential for remedying any harm, rectifying procedural gaps, and ensuring staff understand the seriousness of their obligations. In some situations, voluntary self-disclosure of violations may be warranted, especially if it enables the organization to cooperate with authorities and demonstrate good faith. Equally important is taking proactive steps to avoid repeat issues, whether that involves retraining staff, updating protocols, or enhancing oversight. By continuously refining policies and processes, healthcare organizations maintain a culture of integrity and minimize future compliance risks. 8th component. Program effectiveness was added in 2004 by the U.S. Sentencing Commission to underscore the importance of measurable outcomes in a compliance program. This component ensures that organizations do more than simply adopt rules. They must regularly evaluate and update their processes to confirm the program genuinely prevents and detects misconduct. Just as crucially, fostering a culture of compliance from the top down guarantees consistent support from leadership, adequate resource allocation, and continual monitoring. For example, a hospital might conduct quarterly audits of its patient billing records, measuring discrepancies and improvement rates over time. By showing a decline in inaccurate claims or coding errors, management can demonstrate tangible success. Through this ongoing review and adjustment, healthcare entities ensure not only legal adherence, but also strengthen patient trust, uphold ethical standards, and maintain robust operational integrity. Under the Affordable Care Act, healthcare providers must implement thorough compliance programs as a prerequisite for participating in federal programs. This requirement aligns with standards outlined by the Office of Inspector General and federal sentencing guidelines, emphasizing a proactive approach. By drafting clear protocols, hosting routine training, and continuously verifying the program's impact, organizations showcase a dedication to ethical, patient-centered care. Such steps not only mitigate legal and financial jeopardy, but also nurture internal transparency and bolster external confidence. For instance, a clinic might perform monthly claims audits and swiftly address billing discrepancies. In doing so, managers demonstrate the program's strength while reinforcing a culture of integrity, ensuring that staff remain vigilant and engaged in overall compliance objectives. Ultimately, this fosters trust among patients, payers, and regulatory entities. The Sarbanes-Oxley lessons emphasize ethical conduct, accurate disclosures, robust whistleblower protections, and effective internal controls. Although originally intended for publicly traded corporations, these principles have clear relevance in healthcare governance. For example, just as finance teams must disclose financial data transparently, hospitals and clinics should maintain honesty in patient billing and regulatory reporting. Whistleblower protections, a key component of the legislation, encourage staff at all levels to speak up about potential misconduct without fear of reprisal. By adopting similar safeguards and accountability measures, healthcare organizations mirror the law's emphasis on trustworthy leadership, fostering an environment of integrity that benefits patients, staff, and the broader community. Corporate culture and ethics requires leaders to model compliant, ethical behavior consistently. By openly championing integrity, executives and managers set the tone for the rest of the organization, reinforcing the importance of honest decision-making. Encouraging open communication without fear of retaliation helps employees feel secure about reporting concerns or potential issues, ultimately boosting transparency and overall compliance. Additionally, recognizing and rewarding ethical actions, whether through public praise, promotions, or other incentives, demonstrates a genuine commitment to high moral standards. In turn, this cultivates a workplace culture where trust, accountability, and integrity thrive, benefiting both staff and the patients they serve. Monitoring program. Effectiveness relies on thorough, independent audits and reviews to confirm that compliance measures work as intended. By using specific measurable metrics, such as error rates, training completion percentages, or reported incidents, leaders can quantify success and identify areas needing improvement. Additionally, continuous feedback from staff, patients, and other stakeholders helps managers refine the program in real time. This cycle of auditing, measuring, and adjusting ensures a proactive, transparent approach to maintaining high compliance standards. Handling violations involves quickly investigating any reported or suspected issues to determine their scope and impact. By acting promptly, organizations can contain potential damage, gather crucial facts, and maintain stakeholder trust. Depending on the findings, corrective or disciplinary measures may be necessary to demonstrate accountability and deter future misconduct. Throughout the process, it is essential to preserve evidence and meticulously document each step, from initial discovery and interviews to final resolutions. This thorough record-keeping helps confirm the organization's commitment to fairness, ensures transparency, and protects against additional legal or regulatory complications. Keeping current acknowledges that laws, regulations, and guidance are constantly evolving in healthcare administration. To adapt, organizations should refresh policies and training materials regularly, for example, updating staff on revised HIPAA rules or modify coding guidelines from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Staying informed also means monitoring new bulletins from the Office of Inspector General, participating in professional associations, and attending relevant conferences. By frequently reviewing and revising procedures, healthcare leaders ensure that everyone, from senior management to frontline employees, remains equipped with the latest best practices, enhancing compliance and preserving high-quality patient care. The overall framework for a robust healthcare compliance program rests on the 7+1 elements, providing a consistent foundation that guides ethical decision-making and operational integrity. From developing clear written policies to ensuring proper oversight by a compliance officer and committees, each element protects against internal and external risks. This structure further emphasizes rigorous employee screening, continual training, and consistent communication strategies, making it easier for staff to understand their responsibilities and for leaders to gauge whether the program is succeeding. Likewise, monitoring, auditing, enforcement, discipline, and effective response measures round out the system, ensuring that issues are identified and resolved with minimal disruption. Yet, even the best designed program can stall without leadership support and adequate resource allocation. Senior management must champion compliance, model ethical behavior, and secure the funding necessary for thorough audits, training initiatives, and improvement projects. Equally critical is meticulous documentation, covering everything from training attendance to investigative procedures and disciplinary outcomes. Such records validate the organization's genuine commitment to compliance, demonstrating responsiveness to changing regulations or internal challenges. By consistently applying the entire 7+1 framework with visible backing from leadership, healthcare managers can cultivate a strong culture that aligns with legal requirements and fosters patient trust. Practical takeaways emphasize that a preventive approach to compliance is always less costly than addressing violations after the fact. By spotting risks early, organizations sidestep hefty fines, reputational harm, and resource-draining audits. This strategy also protects patients, assuring them of better care and stronger privacy safeguards, and supports employees by providing clear rules and ethical guidance. When an organization consistently demonstrates regulatory compliance, it builds trust and credibility among internal stakeholders, as well as patients, payers, and external agencies. For instance, a healthcare manager might institute monthly reviews of new telehealth protocols, anticipating evolving privacy regulations before they become problematic. By catching issues early and refining practices accordingly, the facility not only avoids potential penalties, but also maintains a solid reputation for patient care and organizational integrity. Thank you for joining me in today's discussion on healthcare compliance. A solid compliance program is more than a legal safeguard. It is a driver of ethical behavior and fosters accountability across every department. As healthcare managers, your commitment to maintaining robust standards not only protects patients and staff, but also fortifies trust and credibility in the broader community. By prioritizing transparency, consistent monitoring, and continual improvement, you create a culture where excellence and integrity thrive. We appreciate your time and dedication in exploring these vital compliance strategies. Thank you again for tuning in, and best wishes in your ongoing compliance efforts.